Hey guys, Level Cap here, and today in gaming, a major Call of Duty rumor was debunked by Activision, Apex Legends blew up again, Epic secrets are being exposed, and much more. The leaks were wrong about this year's Call of Duty title being cancelled. Activision made a flurry of announcements yesterday. The first one is that Sledgehammer Studios is on track to deliver a new entry in the franchise later this year as the franchise's typical end-of-year release. They also say it's being built for next-gen consoles, will offer multiplayer, single-player, co-op modes, and feature Warzone integration. Rumors have been buzzing that Activision canceled the game and plan to release a remaster of Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer instead. Those claims had seemed dubious at best, considering Activision currently has 9 studios working on the franchise and hasn't missed a release in 16 years despite multiple games being moved to entirely new studios mid-development. Of course, it would have been somewhat understandable if the pandemic had interfered with development, but the announcement by Activision has pretty much confirmed the rumor was false. Activision also announced that they're tripling the size of their key franchise teams because of how successful Warzone is. In terms of actual numbers, that means they'll be hiring 2,000 more developers to work on Call of Duty, Overwatch, and their other popular titles. The expansion includes new hires at multiple studios worldwide in Poland, China, Australia, and Canada. Activision are also doubling down on their mobile game development plans. Hundreds of new employees are being hired to support future mobile titles. The commitment was inspired by the success of COD Mobile, which has done incredibly well over the past year. It's hit 500 million downloads since launch in 2019 and has generated over $1 billion in revenue. Their next mobile release will be Diablo Immortal, which is tracking well with the beta testers. Activision have plans to develop Warcraft mobile games as well. The wrinkle in Activision's grand plan is that their partner company Blizzard is currently losing millions of players across all of their games. Revenue is up by 7%, but they've lost 29% of their active player base over the last 3 years, which is about 11 million players. This is a trend that we've seen throughout the tech sector from companies like Twitter and Apple. Their products have either plateaued in user growth or are slowly losing customers to the competition while increasing revenue through intelligent sale tactics and monetization. Overall though, I'm sure Blizzard will probably be fine. But let us know what you think. The idea of Activision hiring 2,000 people to work on Call of Duty games is wild and likely makes the franchise one of the biggest in gaming history. We're interested to hear your thoughts in the comments. Apex set a new concurrent player record on Steam with the launch of Season 9 Legacy. It peaked at 241,000 players. That's about 60,000 more players than its previous peak in March. The Legacy update adds a new hero and permanent 3v3 mode called Arenas. The hype for this update has been off the charts compared to the previous seasons, mainly due to all the tie-ins with Respawn's Titanfall games. The 3v3 mode is also receiving a lot of attention as a potential esports game. Of course, with great demand comes great instability. Apex's servers are struggling under the weight of those new players. As a result, Respawn pushed several updates to address problems like disconnects, missing marketplace services, and the inability to connect to matches entirely. Most of those issues are fixed now, but the marketplace might be acting up still. It's a bit early for definitive reviews of the update. That said, most players seem to be enjoying the changes and new content. The court proceedings between Apple and Epic are revealing a ton about this secretive gaming industry. To date, Epic have spent at least $1 billion on exclusives alone. That puts them up there with the production budgets of services like Netflix, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime. That said, if you think spending $1 billion is a big deal for Epic, Fortnite alone is making roughly $2 billion annually, and Epic's game engine Unreal 4 is one of the most widely used engines in the industry. As part of the legal battle, documents filed have also revealed Dead Island 2 switched developers in 2019 to Dam Buster Studios and will be a 1-year Epic Store exclusive. Those documents have also leaked other info, like Microsoft considering reducing their revenue cut for Xbox games. Probably the biggest reveal so far has been that Epic's free game giveaways have return rates well below industry sales averages. Epic paid roughly $12 million upfront to developers to offer their games for free. Those free games have resulted in hundreds of millions of dollars in sales and new customers for Epic. Epic. If one of those new customers buys a full-price game, Epic makes about $7 with their 12% cut. And while you could argue that the developers already got paid for a sale that they might have not gotten at all, the flip side is that the rate that they got paid is below what other platforms pay for free titles, and those free titles were the primary factor in Epic's growth last year. Nearly 750 million free games were claimed by Epic Store users, boosting the platform's daily active user base to over 31 million. That's a nearly 200% increase over the previous year. Basically, it sounds like developers got decent offers on games that no one expected to do so well, and now that Epic's free game giveaways have proven successful, it looks like a lowball deal in hindsight. It'll be interesting to see if Epic offers developers more for free games in the future. Overall, it's obvious that the veil of secrecy game developers have enjoyed for decades is being pulled back. There's no telling how much more we'll learn because of this case. Valve launched a paid stat tracking service for CSGO called 360 Stats. They've offered a similar service for Dota 2 that costs $4 a month. 360 Stats is only $1 per month and will give you access to match analytics from all game modes. The analytics offer more detailed info than what is currently available for free. Google Stadia has lost several high-profile employees. The streaming service's vice president and product head, John Justice, just left following Google's shutting down the internal Stadia game development studio. Justice was a big advocate of Stadia's internal development and spoke highly of the service's future in interviews. 6 other Stadia devs also left the company after Justice. They'll be working at Haven Studios, founded by former Stadia VP Jade Raymond. In a nutshell, with no games to work on, Stadia's developers are jumping ship to work at actual game studios. And that's expected and doesn't necessarily mean bad things for Stadia's future. Google has remained committed to Stadia as a platform for third-party titles. They recently added a search bar to the service and are continuing to add new games regularly. Upcoming zombie survival game Back 4 Blood is doubling down on replayability with its AI game director and card systems. The game is basically a spiritual sequel to Left 4 Dead 2. You and up to 3 friends fight through hordes of zombies to reach safe zone checkpoints. As you play, an AI director tweaks the game based on stuff like player health, movement, weapons, damage dealt, and more. Hypothetically, this means no 2 zombie hordes will ever be exactly the same. On top of that, the game's card system mixes up every match with different modifiers. Both the players and AI game director have access to a variety of cards that can change stats like aim speed, weapon accuracy, damage, and more. At the start of a round, the game director and players pick their cards from a random deal. Think of Battlefront 2's card system, but way deeper and with more variety. Now, before we get to our final story today, I'd just like to say thank you so much for tuning in. We're getting very close to this year's biggest reveal, so stay tuned for coverage of Battlefield 6, Call of Duty, and more. Get subscribed and enable notifications to catch everything. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 will launch on the Nintendo Switch June 25th. The port was announced earlier this year without a firm release date alongside announcements for the next-gen console versions of the game. The Switch port will offer all the content in the other versions of the game, including online and local multiplayer, all of the original game modes, the complete soundtrack, and remade levels. And that wraps it up for Today in Gaming. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.